How do you think the statement from Kyler Murray's agent, Eric Burkhart, landed on the desk of Steve Keim as he's making his way to speak in front of the Combine gathered media Tuesday? What do you think about that statement, Daniel?
I mean, I don't want to put words in Steve's mouth. I've known Steve for a very long time. I would imagine he probably just had a little bit of maybe a chuckle and an eye roll and went about his day. I don't think that. I don't know what the point of it was. Like, are you trying to apply public pressure? Like you're trying to get the fan base to rally behind a guy who scrubbed all of the fan base's team's information from their social media accounts. Like, I don't get it. I don't see this applying any leverage. I kept reading. I was like, okay, where does it say he's going to hold out? Like, I was kind of missing that piece of information. So I didn't really get the motive behind that. If whatever it was, I don't think it was accomplished.
So let's dive into it. Like, what? Because I said at the top of the show, Daniel, that if you have spoke to any Cardinal fan, they're not worried if Kyler Murray's the right guy at all.
No.
They're worried about, why does this team fall apart after Thanksgiving? That's what they're worried about. And if that is the problem of the mix of the team or the organizational, roster building or the coach, like, that is the question. Or, is it something that will not be able to be fixed with Murray? Like, deep down, that might be the concern about Murray long term, not about like signing him now because he's not the right guy. Like, there's no Wentz Goff problem here, right? So I guess that's my first way to dive deep in, is like, what is the problem? What has been the problem in your estimation in Arizona?
Well, I think they've had some issues with some injuries. I think he's just physically worn down at the end of the year too. And the first, year before it was more injury related. This year is a little more performance related. But yeah, I mean, that was the other thing that was kind of missing from that, from that statement or what have you. It's like, hey, we've accomplished some great things, but I know that I need to get better, and I'm working on that so that I can finish stronger than I have the last couple of years. But maybe like a little bit of accountability, if he took there, would have made that land a little bit better. But no, I mean, I think they got to continue to add depth. I mean, we've seen that, especially we're in 17-game season now, Rich, and when we have had with the COVID stuff, I think hopefully that's behind us for the most part. But the deepest rosters are the ones that advance and move on. So they've got to continue to add talent and depth around Kyler. But he's not someone who doesn't deserve a little bit of criticism as well for his play coming down the stretch. So then I think he probably thought he was going to get kind of the rubber stamp Josh Allen, kind of name your number, let's just get it done and pay you. And I don't think he's getting that.
So then why not? Let's flip this on its head then, in the fact that, everything that Eric Burkhart did say in it about how the franchise has turned around and how well he has played is fact, and that what I said is clearly he is the quarterback of the future for the Cardinals. Then why not give him what he wants right now? What's the point of that, Dan?
Well, I think he is going to be their quarterback. I don't think there's any other option, but I think they're maybe not putting him in the Josh Allen category yet. If you're looking for the Mahomes or the Josh Allen contracts, I think their argument, and again, I'm just looking at this from the outside, but I'm imagining their argument is, no, you're not those guys. You are a great player. You are a Pro Bowl caliber player, but those guys, you're talking about two of the top, three quarterbacks, however you want to look at that in the league, maybe 1 and 2. So yeah, we're not going to pay you that number because we don't view you as that type of a player. But I would imagine he's saying, yeah, but I'm next. That's how these contracts work. It doesn't necessarily mean you're better than the previous guy, but you're the next guy, and everything kind of keeps trending upwards. So that's where you have a little bit of the issue, would be my guess.
So, wouldn't you be concerned that, that if he doesn't get paid, that year 4, that there might be body language moments or shutting it down moments during games where adversity hits that you'd be concerned about because he hasn't been paid based on the actions over the last 3 weeks? I mean, deep down, would you be concerned about that sitting in the Cardinals front office right now, Dan?
I would say if you're worried about that, then you probably should have bigger issues to be worried about with him, going forward. If his wiring is such that
then why
get worked out, then I would be concerned because if you'd say, okay, most guys would say, okay, look, pay me now. This is what the number is. I know it's an uncomfortable number, but guess what? When I go out next year and I take the next step and we take the next step, that number's only going north. So I would prefer to have somebody in that position that would maybe take that approach. And I would imagine, I think that's what Lamar Jackson will do. And kind of that in that same boat, he's going to say, that's fine. You want to hold off and wait? That number's only going to go up.
Well, I mean, in terms of Lamar, Eric DeCosta spoke a couple weeks ago, and I took his comments to mean that Lamar isn't negotiating. Like, he's just chilling out and figuring out he'll get to it when he gets to it. Are they talking? Are you hearing anything on that?
I don't know. I have not.
Daniel?
I haven't talked to Eric. I have not asked Eric that. So maybe I'll check in with him when we get out to Indianapolis. But
okay.
That's it's different ways you approach this thing, right? I mean, I just keep looking back at Kirk Cousins and all the deals they tried to give him. And he just said nope, and bet on himself and paid off in a big way. So I think I'd rather go that approach than the all caps letter.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.